This is Titletown Sound.
If Joe Flacco is worth a fourth-round pick, Antonio Brown might be worth a negative fifth-round pick.
Again, I'm just a fat dude sitting on the couch, but I watch a lot of football.
I'm here to kick ass and make steaks, and I'm all out of steaks.
Year one, he was like, all right, guys, I don't know what Dom taught you, but you need to have 11 guys on the field.
A trained orangutan could have done a better job than Ron Zones. And not even well trained.
Welcome, Packers fans. This is episode 244 of the Titletown Sound podcast. This is the podcast for fans of the Green Bay Packers and fans of caffeinated beverages. That's right. Today, ladies and gentlemen, is National Coffee Day. And I'd like to introduce you to my co-host, a man who I met and knew simply in the early days as No Foam White Mocha. It's James Gordon. How you doing?
I really want that on the back of a jersey now. I don't even care whose jersey it is. Get me a jersey and have it say No Foam White Mocha on it. That's fantastic.
And my other co-host, a man who always orders a tall. It's Kevin Christofko. Kevin, how you doing?
Also, sometimes I make it skinny.
Gentlemen, we are fans of the Green Bay Packers, and I think we're lucky this year because we are fans of the 3-0 Green Bay Packers. The Packers go into just an electric atmosphere in New Orleans. Took the crowd out of it from the beginning, and I am going to use that joke every week. But James, it was not an easy victory, but man, that was a hell of a performance, especially by this offense.
It's amazing. I love this offense so much. They went down to New Orleans in front of the raging crowd of 750 people.
Raging Cajun.
The raging Cajun crowd. And without Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones he had an okay game, not great. They still put up 37 points. 37 points. So here's the thing. Week one, they blow out Minnesota. Their offense just destroys them when we hear, oh, well, Minnesota lost all their good defenders. They're no good. Okay, fine. Week two, they blow out the Lions, put up 43 on them for whatever it was. Oh, well, they're
4 million points.
Their secondary is.
That's according to the Elias Sports Bureau, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, but it was, that was the narrative. The Lions defense, they're terrible. They're awful.
Right.
Wait till they play a real defense like the Saints.
Right.
And they waltz down there without their best receiver and with their best running back having a mediocre game for him, and they put up 37. So stop moving the goalposts. We're not in Minnesota here. Stop moving the goalposts. And recognize that this offense is legit. It is a legit, could be history-making offense.
Wow.
Aaron Rodgers is just in his bag week after week after week. We have a top 3 running back in the league, maybe top 2. It might be Kamara and Jones. It really might be. This could be an incredibly special offense this year. It's so exciting.
My nipples are tingling listening to you talk about this team like that, because I think you're serious. You do believe this team, and why? So we'll get to you, Kevin. I know you're aching to give us your analysis, but James, why do you say this team is more than just like a good offense, more than just a flash in the pan, or more than just a few good weeks?
Because really, it all comes down to Aaron Rodgers. The offense is Aaron Rodgers. It always has been, always will be. Watch him and compare Aaron Rodgers' performance and his attitude and his just everything about the way that he conducts himself on a football field in 2020 compared to how he's done it since 2000 maybe 16 up until now. It's 180 degrees. And as Aaron Rodgers goes, so does that Packers offense. Now you factor in with that Aaron Jones, putting up, 100 and some odd yards a game, 2-3 touchdowns a game, and factoring in the passing game, an offensive line that's held together right now by glue and spit that's still playing out of their minds. And you got Matt LaFleur, who's just calling games. Matt LaFleur has been the best coach so far this year. I think you cannot convince me otherwise. And it might even going back to the last 6 or 7 games of last year. All the ingredients are there for this for a Packers beautiful bunt cake, and all they got to do is mix that up, get it in the oven, and maybe come February we got ourselves a little Super Bowl bunt cake.
Bunt copyright Bunt Corporation. I think they might be in Minnesota.
Do I owe them money now?
No, I don't think that's how that works. I'll ask a lawyer, like a good one. I mean, Kevin, I am going to slightly disagree with James and say, first of all, James, if you could speak up a little bit, your mic level's a little low. But
all right.
I'm going to disagree with a little bit with James because I think this offense is better because it doesn't have to go through Aaron Rodgers. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this offense is unlike what we've seen in the last couple of years. Last year obviously was a little bit different, but it just looks a lot smoother. It looks like the plays make a lot more sense. It just flows better than what we had seen in the past, I think. It's weird because, as a play caller, you don't want to be predictable, but I feel like the Packers are in a place right now where you can say, hey, we're going to run the ball, and then you run the ball and you're still going to be successful just because.
But let's talk about, they can be, they're not predictable. Though. That's, I think, the thing. The way that their plays are developing, it makes sense. Remember Mike McCarthy plays, I'm sure you guys both remember them, where it was, develop 12 yards down the field, then there's going to be 4 looks and there's going to be there was too much going on. It took too long to develop. These plays happen very quickly, but there's a lot going on and it all makes sense. Like go back to that Lazard touchdown. If you watch that play again, there are 2 fake handoffs, a tight end who releases into the flat, and they just lose Allen Lazard because there's too much going on. The safety's got too much to worry about, and it's well-designed plays that also make it so that offensive line doesn't have to be as good as it did last year. Let's Aaron Rodgers have some comfort in the pocket. Let's plays develop so that his shot plays aren't desperation. They're taking what he wants to take them.
Right. So I think my favorite play of the whole game was it involved Allen Lazard, but it wasn't the touchdown. It was the second play of the second half. I think it was a 72-yard completion. That play was perfect because what the Saints had quarters defense set up, which means they had defensive backs were assigned a quarter, each had a quarter of the field across, and they lined up for Darius Shepard of all people on the outside with Lazard in the slot, and for whatever reason, the cornerback and the free safety decided to drift over to Darius Shepard. When they did that, that left a wide open middle of the field for Lazard to just cross over.
They didn't name him Shepard for nothing.
That's true. He led them all to the sideline. And Rodgers hit Lazard for that 72 yards. So it's stuff like that. All the pre-snap motion. There's so much more motion. And then the calling back to previous weeks, they've been doing those little push passes like 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
They didn't do any this week, but they faked it about 7 times. Using the video, the other teams watch knowing that the other teams are watching and trying to clue on your tendencies. It's genius. And McCarthy would never do this stuff. Never.
Kevin, we talked about this over the last several years. You can see the personality of this team is different. And I don't mean like the faces of the players, but the personality of the team, the way the offense runs it's a different team.
Yeah, I think if you were asked to define the teams, the offense, it would be a little bit easier this year than maybe it would have been, 2 years ago, because of the fact that it's more, it's less disjointed and it's more fluid. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the bottom line, right? The only problem that I think they need more touchdowns instead of field goals. But other than that, I mean,
You are truly a Packers fan that you have accidentally complained about amount of points they're scoring. With their
I mean, I legitimately, specifically mean no. I think it's fine. But first drives, I think they need to. I'd love to see touchdowns instead of field goals.
Sure, I see what you're saying.
But they're scoring. I mean, they're scoring. So,
and we've talked about all the great things that are going on with this team. Let's talk about the defense.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to give my opinion, then I want you to answer, James, and I want to hear about what you have to say. But I'm not as worried about the defense as maybe I should be because of Kenny Clark's absence. I think he is that important to this defense, and that's why they paid him the kind of money they did. That doesn't mean this is a great defense. I'm a little disappointed with the way that they're performing. And I think it's individual performances. From what I've seen from people that I trust, it looks like it's individual performances. It's not necessarily that the scheme is failing them. So that's disappointing. But at the same time, I wonder if there's a little lag because of the way this season started. It's always, I think, easier to be the one who's determining which way you're going to cut rather than the one reacting. So the defense may be a little bit behind. But maybe it's just the talent still isn't quite there. I don't know. But right now, if they add Kenny Clark back into the mix, I'm not too worried about this defense when paired with the offense. Is that a ridiculous take, James?
I don't think it's ridiculous at all. So I was more than content to let Alvin Kamara run for 650 yards. I was cool with that because, again, Kenny Clark, he's gone. And I was more than content with that because if you're running the ball for 650 yards, as long as our offense can score points, unlike the San Francisco games last year where they ran for 7,000 yards a game and we couldn't score, I was cool with that until the play that everybody's talked about all week, the Kamara touchdown pass that he and he literally just kind of prancer-sized from the however long he was like half jog. Like I feel like I could have outrun Alvin Kamara on that. I'd
like to welcome everybody who's in the live stream for episode 244 prancer size.
It's a real
thing. I hope
you're
going so far. Is it wait, it's really a thing?
If you go to not right now, you're on YouTube, most of you, if you're watching this, so don't leave us. But after the show, go YouTube prancer sizing. You'll completely understand what I'm talking about. It's a lady. Okay, it's a lady in a park with a giant moose knuckle, and she's out there.
Now you are actively pushing viewers away from our live stream.
I'm sabotaging.
We compete with Moose Knuckle.
I can't. There's Moose Knuckle. I'm going, James, and I'm the host.
Stay here. I'll show you mine. We're good.
No,
okay.
Really, wow.
No, but anyway, she's prancing around the park like she's riding a horse.
Moose Knuckle. I haven't decided yet.
It's a thing. So anyway, that was as slow as I've ever seen a running back take a ball, and that was slower than Eddie Lacy. But what really bothered me was 6 guys, like just kind of slapped at him like a silly fight, like I don't know what you'd say, like a sorority pillow. I don't know, whatever. I'm trying not to. Anyway, it wasn't very aggressive. Is my point. It was very timid, and that bothered me. And
like Switzerland in a war.
Right. Well, if you got a guy running down the field and you have an open shot at tackling him because he's running like he's trying to hold an egg between his butt cheeks, hit the guy. Don't run up to him and just kind of slap at the ball or, kind of half-assed.
To be fair, if I saw someone running with an egg between his butt cheeks, I'm going to find it difficult to that's funny. How am I going to bring that?
I've got that in one window. Then I got a moose knuckle in the other window. And then I got us in the third window. That's how that works.
I just, I don't know.
Hold on. I want to take umbrage with Mr. Hamlin, who's in the chat, says you're going to chase away your twos of viewers. Mr. Hamlin,
he knows math. That's legit.
We have over half that many viewers. Over twice that many viewers. Damn it, I knew I should have hired him.
We have 4 times as many as half that amount of viewers.
Right. And he asked earlier if I got in a fight. No, I didn't. I just had a giant zit on my forehead. Thank you very much. I'm a 43-year-old with acne. Let's move along. Where were we?
Doing steroids.
Well, it's paying off, though, so how can you tell me to stop? Aaron Jones, 16 attempts. He got some yards, average of 4.3 yards per carry. His long was 19 and a touchdown. This guy, every week his price goes up, but every week I'm convinced you got to spend more and you got to keep him. He is that good. I think running backs are disposable. I do not think he's disposable. Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, I think he had a nice game. It wasn't great. It was nice. Yeah, I like Aaron Jones a lot, and I would love to see him on the Packers for a few more years. I just, like you said, the more he runs, the more he touches the ball, the less likely I feel like that is. But
Well, no, I don't necessarily think that. I think they're going to try to find a way.
I hope so.
Who knows? Maybe there's a chance for it to be something real special here. And running back is not your ideal money to put, position to put money into, but just right now. But then again, right now, all their running backs are effective. He's great, but when you look at let's look at this game, and this game wasn't a very good example.
I mean, their running attack has been very effective this year, very, very effective. And even going back to last year, Jamal Williams is a good running back in and of himself. And I'm a little, on the third and one plays, I'm a little skeptical as to why AJ Dillon's not getting those carries, because the dude gets up from a chair and he gains 2 yards. I don't understand why. He's got legs that are made of oil drums. Why is the man being kept on the bench? Why even keep him active if you're not going to play him? That bugs me a little bit.
Good question. Yeah, I get that. That's a good question. Now, the run defense, James, can we do anything? Is there anything they can change that you've seen? I know the one is stop missing so many tackles. But scheme-wise or talent-wise, is there anything they can do right now to really improve this run defense that you've seen?
And when Blake Martinez left and Christian Kirksey came on, I thought, okay, this could be good, because Kirksey's he knows Pettin's system. Pettin's going to put him in the right place. And then Kirksey is leading the team in tackles, and he's a slightly better coverage linebacker. But it's kind of the same. It's like the Spider-Man meme where they're just pointing at each other. It's kind of the same thing with him. So I'm really starting to think it's Pettin. I think it's Pettin's. I think it's the scheme. I don't think that the guys are taught to get to the gaps in the appropriate gaps at the appropriate time. And and to be honest with you, I kind of am starting to believe that the emphasis is being put on the passing defense as opposed to we'll let them get their rushing yards. That's fine, as long as we don't give up any big plays through the air or
Yeah, it's a team that's built to have the lead. Right. You get the lead, and then they're going to pass the ball. You're equipped to handle the pass. You can let them run it all they want if you're, up by 12, 14 or whatever it is. Right. But, I think that's –
So that's a good point. You have to look at the whole team. And if you design the team together, have they decided they're going to put the resources into the offense and keep the defense reasonable?
And that's why I don't have a problem at all with the defense and how they performed, especially against New Orleans, because they did what they needed to when they needed to, and that's all you can ask of them, really. I mean, they forced a turnover on Taysom Hill when they were given the opportunity. They also forced 2 other fumbles they weren't able to get on, but the opportunities were there. They I was going to say something else that they did that was good. Yeah, they won. That was good. But seriously, I don't think that when you look at yards and you look at points allowed, that really tells the story, right? Because the Packers offense had the ball for 7 minutes in the fourth quarter towards, that last drive or whatever where they scored. I mean, of course you're going to let the Saints get 60 yards on the ensuing drive because it's going to eat up a bunch of time. They'll get their 3 points, but that's how the game is played now, right? If you blitz 3 guys and they score a touchdown because you don't have anybody back there to protect that, then that's just not, you just can't do that. So it looks bad and it's annoying because, all these yards and all these, they're marching down the field. but that's kind of the way the game has been designed and has been, what it's been funneled towards. So as long as they force those turnovers, force those punts, like after when the 4th and 1 where they didn't convert on midfield, and they forced a punt after that, and so that's why you can go for it on 4th and 1 because you know that your defense can get the ball back.
And again, I think if you add Kenny Clark back into the mix, you solve 40% of this defense's problems. And I think that 40% makes this a very good defense, very good defense. The problem is that maybe your best defensive player or your most important is out right now. I do think they've decided to put the resources now into the offense, and it makes sense. They've got a lot of talented players on the offense that they need to try to hang on to. So I want to see them play better, but I'm not quite panicking yet. Also, I'm a huge homer, so I always think that they're going to do well. And
I agree, Chris. I just wonder what the definition of playing better should be in our heads. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because I think that's kind of what I'm stuck on is, playing better than allowing enough points to win the game. Because that's kind of, what is that? That doesn't really matter when all is said and done.
Yeah, I get you. All right, we got to move on because if you gentlemen will look at your show outline. James, what is next on the show outline? I didn't have it. It doesn't have it open.
Hang on. I have it open right here. It's wide open.
Oh boy.
The next thing on the rundown is a super secret segment.
So as you may well know, we are competing tonight live streaming against the first presidential debate. I believe our viewership is relatively similar in numbers. But because some people have given up some of their debate experience to be with us, I designed a new game show that we're going to play tonight. Gather the family, tell the neighbors, call your friends. It's time for everyone's favorite game show.
With all due respect, that's a bunch of malarkey. The people don't have the teleprompter working, but that's okay.
That's debatable. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to That's Debatable. It's the show where your Packers hot takes are debated. Now, I asked you before the show began to provide me with your Packers hot take that would become your debate argument. We flipped a coin backstage, and James, you won, and you will go first. And your debate topic is, you will be pro, Kevin will be con. Mike McCarthy made his career off of just 2 years at Aaron Rodgers' talent. You have 30 seconds and go.
2010, 2011. That's it. McCarthy rode Aaron Rodgers like a secretariat. He rode him like Seabiscuit for his entire career, save for the 1 year that he had Brett Favre that was playing out of his mind until, and McCarthy didn't come up with any original ideas past 2011, and they just rolled that carousel all the way down to 2018. And I'm
going to have to ask you to stop. Thank you. And Kevin, counterpoint, go.
Well, it's obvious here that James is just massaging the numbers. Everything he's taken, it's all taken out of context, right? McCarthy was basically a god, okay? I don't know if you guys know this, but you mentioned gaining yards when A.J. Dillon stands up. Mike McCarthy gains a yard when he takes his pants off, okay? So don't you even tell me that this man is not one of the greatest head coaches in all Green Bay Packers history.
And with that, I'm going to have to ask you to stop and thank you for your contribution. Now, what I'm going to do...
Yeah, I wanted to use that as a Nick Foles joke, but it didn't work, so I had to...
I'm going to ask those in our live chat, the thousands, get your votes in now. Was it James or Kevin?
Can I interrupt 15 times and call them names? No?
Just type something, someone, in the chat.
Lolo won.
Oh, I believe we may be a little bit delayed because I'm.
That's it.
Anyway,
I'll concede. How about that?
I was going to declare the winner because Kevin made a wiener joke.
Yeah, he's got to win. I'll give it to him. I'll give it to Kevin for the
we have a vote for James.
Oh, I agree with YouTube user.
We're going to go with it because I think, Kevin, the wiener jokes aren't landing tonight, so to speak. We have votes for James, and I'm going to declare that winner in that round. James is our winner, but that's a meaningless round because in the second round, the points double, so the first round doesn't matter. And Kevin, you will go first. Now, I have invented your hot take since you didn't get to me before the show, but I
was prepping.
You were. I will give you this opportunity now.
Doomsday prepping is not prepping for the show, Kevin.
To create your own hot take if you would like to.
No, I want to hear what you got because this is good. Because when I come up, it's going to be worse. So.
You are going to argue that Lambeau Field should be domed.
I'm going to argue that it should be.
It should be. You have 30 seconds and go.
In today's era of COVID-19 and the bubonic plague outbreak in China and Mongolia, it's important for us to be safe.
Yes.
In a domed football field. It would also serve as a community food bank.
Mercifully, your time is up. James, we lost.
I thought I won, guys. I think I won that one.
2 viewers during that argument. Please, why don't you give us your counterpoint?
Well, if you dome Lambeau Field, then all of the noise is going to echo off the dome, and the old people will all just have their giant strokes in the middle of aisle 9, and they're going to tip over because all the noise, they can't handle it. And now you're going to have elderlies just laying everywhere. People from Verona and Minocqua and Shawano and Lake Butte-des-Morts and all the way is all the way from
James, we're going to have to stop you there so we can clean up the elderlies everywhere.
I think I actually won that one.
Well, he also said that older people would be having giant strokes at Lambeau Field, which gave me imagery that I didn't appreciate. I'm going to award the points to Kevin, and now that's our first. It's our first ever. That's debatable, probably last, but I hope you all enjoyed it. It's about time to go to break, but before we go to break, we have some wonderful people to talk about. These are our patrons, those who help fund the show, and first, Kevin, I think we should talk about our OG patrons because that's the way it's written on the outline.
We should. And before the weekly patrons, it seems as though I've left an OG patron off the roll call for the last several weeks, Hunter Schur. I don't think I've mentioned him for the last couple of weeks, guys. And he's on our list. So that's not good for me, if you know what I'm saying. Last week...
I'll have to go check.
Well, whatever. You got to roll with it at this point.
Absolutely.
So last week when James needed to apologize to Paul Goldsack for his oversight, he did it in poetry. And I'm not the wordsmith James is, but if you would indulge me, I've given it a shot here. Roses are red. The OGs are our rock. Out of all of our patrons, Hunter has the biggest IQ. Okay, so let's move on to our patrons for Coffee Day. Scott Neer. Through his copious research and diligent hands-on studies, Scott Neer was the first to posit that coffee stays warmer 20% longer when you add cream. Add cream if you want your coffee to stay warmer.
Is that
Apparently,
true?
I don't know.
Is that real?
It was on the internet, so sure,
Oh,
of course.
Abe Lincoln.
Chris Korsmo. I also last week I half-assed it with Chris, so I have a couple of facts about Chris this week. Chris actually discovered coffee in the 9th century in Ethiopia when the goats Chris was tending to ate some coffee cherries. Chris noticed the goats had increased energy and was the first to brew the coffee bean as a beverage for human consumption.
Wow.
That's
I always heard that story growing up, and I didn't know if it was true or not. Thanks for confirming that.
That's true, yeah. Milo Meadsong. Milo's favorite coffee is Kopi Luwak. You guys familiar with this? It's the most expensive coffee in the world, and it's brewed.
It has to be like pooped out.
It's brewed from beans that have been passed by the Asian palm civet because they don't digest it. So it's weird. They just pluck them out and poop coffee. Yeah, which essentially is all coffee anyway. All right, so Hunter Schur has 4 Asian palm civets roaming free on a 12-acre farm about a mile north of the Interstate 15 Sierra Avenue exit in Rancho Cucamonga, California. And guys, before you say it, I know what you're going to say. Technically, that's Sierra Heights, but just roll with me here. Rancho Cucamonga is a lot more fun to say. Jeff Augustine. Jeff does not function in the morning without his cup of coffee, and he drinks a lot of it. In fact, Jeff holds the world record for the biggest cup of coffee at 6,000. Coincidentally, Jeff also holds the record for throwing the world's largest leak by volume. That was measured at 6,007.2 gallons. While Chris Korsmo is not Mormon, she does agree that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and founder Joseph Smith's 1833 doctrine of health entitled Words of Wisdom, wherein it is revealed that hot drinks are not for the belly. Like the Mormons, Chris has a strict iced coffee only policy. It's a good policy to have, guys, if you don't know that. Jason Hicks, it says here on my paper, Jason gives coffee diarrhea. So I don't know what that means. Hunter, sure. Hunter asked me not to make a big deal of this, but guys, he actually lives with the uncle of a current Green Bay Packer. Okay, it doesn't matter. Just roll with it for Lord's sake.
I am rolling.
But your head is rolling off its shoulders.
Well, that's because no one watches the video. So I was just communicating with you.
Okay. So like I was saying, Chris Korsmo asked me not to make a big deal of this. But Chris actually lives with the uncle of the current Green Bay Packer and renowned coffee legend, Juan Valdez-Scantling. Finally, last but not least, James Hamblin, the man known worldwide for his ability to perfectly percolate a beautiful sack of beans. And that's all we got tonight, guys.
Wonderful. Thank you. I like that you kept it brief tonight. Thanks, Kev.
That's like 4 pages of notes, yeah.
I know. Kevin didn't study that much in college. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, gentlemen, ladies, we have natural. When we return, our first segment back, I think, after we talk about our patrons, we are going to have a natural, and I know how excited our listenership gets for that. We'll talk about the upcoming game against the Falcons. Hint, don't turn it off in the second half. And we got, guys, I don't want to alarm you, but Papa K is back for the week.
Oh, boy, we found him?
We did. We'll be back very shortly. Doing Chuck Williams.
Did you know that you can help support our show financially without any additional cost to you? Well, if you use Amazon, and let's face it, who doesn't? You can go through our Amazon affiliate link, and we'll get a small portion of the proceeds. You pay nothing extra, and you still get your awesome stuff delivered in like 2 days. So go to www.titletownsoundoff.com/Amazon. You just order like you normally would, and you help the show. That's www.titletownsoundoff.com/Amazon. Happy shopping.
If you would like to support the show and help others find it, give us a review and a rating. Go to Apple Podcasts and write something nice and give us 5 stars. Thanks.
Welcome back. Episode 244 of the Titletown Sound podcast is back with 2 of our 3 hosts. So that's not bad. Before we move on,
We traded him for Papa K.
we did. Before we move on, James, we want to talk about our important Hall of Famers, those patrons that we just love them. They're just sweet guys and ladies.
They're fantastic. So I have I'm not doing this again. So I got Paul Goldsack.
Nice.
Kyle.
Zach,
Yeah, we won. Yeah, I'm not. I one poem per season. That's how this works.
I can't help but notice your list is up to date. I'll make a mental note of that.
I might have sabotaged you on purpose. I don't know. Paul Goldsack, Kyle Turpinning, DJ Lightfoot, Will Zine Savage, and Michael James Crowder. And now the internet, you guys might not know this. This just came out today. It's fresh right off the presses. The International Coffee Foundation of the world of internationals.
Right. ICFOWI.
Yes. Calfee. They
what? Calfee?
Something like that. Just today, the ICWWEFOLMNOQ, they changed the rule. They changed the verdict. Those Hall of Fame patrons are now the official the best part of waking up. So they have that going for them.
Is a Hall of Fame patron in his cup. Oh wait, no. I meant in your Still awkward.
Maybe I don't know.
I think what we need to do is probably just move on. That's probably the best cause of action here. And our next segment, you know what it is.
69, dudes!
Nice.
69!
Nice.
That's right. It's David Bakhtiari's 69 of the week, in no way endorsed or supported by David Bakhtiari, where we bring you an important stat or stats that add up to the number 69, and then we say nice and we laugh because we're 12-year-olds. This week, ladies and gentlemen, we have something important. We have...
This is the best natural laxative to clear all the stuck poop in your intestines. You will lose 3 kg in 1 day.
We have a natural, gentlemen. We have a natural. That's right. It's a natural 69 because this week Aaron Jones rushed for 69 yards. But Kevin and James, maybe more importantly, when I was searching for that YouTube file again, I found a different version, and it's the full version of the natural laxative.
This is the best natural laxative to clear all the stuck poop in your intestines. You will lose 3 kilograms in 1 day! ! There are many laxative teas and meds that help us remove waste and toxins from our body.
Yep.
However, the most important thing is that they are far less effective as this natural remedy, since they represent excellent natural laxative. The prunes are extremely rich in fiber and deep irregularity in a short time and soften the stool. 100% natural laxative remedy. Recipe: 5 cups boiled water, 1 cup, 150 grams, plums, 1 cup, 150 grams, dates without bones. Instruction. The preparation of this natural and really effective remedy is absolutely simple and fast.
You can't bone your date before you put it in there.
We need boneless dates only, please. Because if you listen, Carl, if you come up to the store one goddamn more time with those bone-in dates, you're going right back to the diet, Carl. I'm so
they're a little bit more flavorful than the boneless dates, but
I don't want to keep hearing that boneless dates aren't dates. They're delicious. They're not just date nuggets. They're real dates.
I can't breathe in.
But don't read the screen right now because the comment may kill you. I guess we should continue.
Into little pieces and place them into boiling water. Let it simmer till it minimizes and the mixture is ready for consumption. The mixture should be eaten in the morning. It can be combined with everything: cereal, yogurt, piece of bread, smoothie, etc. You can also place a few plums in a glass of water, let them overnight and consume them the next morning. Suggestions: consume a plenty of water when you consume foods rich in fiber because it helps in preventing irregularity. You should try specific yoga positions, or take tea from senna leaves if you don't get remedy for this jam. Do not forget that you should increase the consumption of fiber. Lemon water is excellent against defecation and also softens the stool.
Wait, why don't you want
again?
What comes up next? What comes up next after a video? What is YouTube going to recommend after the video about natural poop remedy?
It was about the 3rd week into Kathy's weight loss battle where things really started to go downhill.
Okay. Turn that off. That's uncomfortable.
Might as well put on that moose knuckle video.
Anyway, where were we? All right, that was your. I believe you're 69.
Oh my god.
69, dudes!
Nice.
69!
Nice.
All right, Chiefs, let's talk about this Falcons game upcoming on Monday night. Packers-Falcons, and this Falcons team can't hold a lead and they do not have a very good defensive secondary.
Or an offensive secondary for that matter. They're
Ooh, Kevin's got the clashing helmets. For those of you in the live stream,
that's awesome.
It's like having special effects right on the show.
It's like the old
CBS. They got bones in them, and it hurts when I bite into them.
Buffalo dates. The Falcons are a mess. They are a hot chunk of garbage. They let Nick Foles come back from 15 points down in the fourth quarter to beat them this weekend.
We got to talk about
a week after they who they lose to last week? Oh, the Cowboys. They give up 16 points to the Cowboys in the fourth quarter. Yeah. They're bad. Like they're just terrible. And I don't want to jinx anything, and I feel like I'm jinxing by saying this, but like I watched a good portion of that game this week, and they looked pretty decent in the first half, and then it was like watching it was like if the 2000 like Dom Capers just had a like some sort of Honey I Shrunk the Kids moment with the old Packers secondary and threw them down in Atlanta. That was a movie back in the 90s.
Sorry, my wife took the podcast room, which is clearly off limits. And
does it say no girls allowed on the door?
They want to be on the show. It's not like anybody's watching. Christ.
We're listening, for that matter.
Christ is always watching.
Yeah, the Falcons team's in a lot of trouble, and we don't let me forget to talk about the Bears because that's another S show, even though they're 3-0. But you've got a Falcons team that can't hold a lead. It's like historically they've blown a lead more than any other. It's incredible. I sound like friggin' Donald Trump. Huge leads, the best leads. They keep collapsing.
They've blown more leads than Stormy Daniels has blown. Oh,
awkward.
Sorry, my bad, guys.
No. What about Julio Jones? Is that the one chance that the Vikings have to really cause trouble with the Packers?
No, I don't think that Julio Jones is really going to cause any issues for the Vikings.
Did I say Vikings?
Yeah.
I can see how you get them confused. They're both birds.
Why the hell did I say that? No, I'm also confused.
Both birds.
Because someone walked into my studio while I was doing it. Also confusing.
She was looking for your boneless date.
I am her boneless. Wait. No, Carl, they've got the bones. Like my restart callback.
We have gone totally off the rails.
Substituting Packers for Vikings counselor. Will Julio Jones cause issues for this Green Bay Packers from Wisconsin team?
I mean, if he plays, he's going to be a problem, and I would have to think that either Jair or Kevin King. I think Kevin King historically has covered in the last few years, but he's it. Like it's him, and it's him. That's about it.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, they have Matt Ryan, and they have Julio Jones, and they have the ghost of Todd Gurley, and I think they have Calvin Ridley, and that's about it. Like, you know, if you get to Matt Ryan, he throws the ball to the nearest person wearing any sort of uniform. He'll throw it to the ice cream guy if you can. So
if he's in proper attire,
right.
But none of those bootleg guys like just in a polo shirt.
Right, the Carvel man.
Kev, did you have something to add?
I do they have fans? Are they allowing just ice cream vendors now? Just
There's no fans in the stadium, but a lone ice cream vendor walks the concourse.
Just quiet, and you can hear 16 different people yelling, beer!
They haven't told him yet. He's like the Milton of Falcons.
Strawberry shortcakes. Rocket Pop.
Those things are delicious.
Rocket Pop's $9.
Why is he saying
Atlanta has
in Atlanta?
Atlanta has reasonably priced concessions.
He's a transplant, James.
Well,
He's
they
from
do,
Jersey.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Don't they have like $3 beers?
Darren Ravel
Yeah.
taught us all that they're very manageably financial down there.
That's the only thing that Darren Ravel has ever contributed to society that I approve of. But I would get so drunk at a game with $3 beers. I am not responsible with stadium beers. I'm a generally responsible beer drinker. Stadium, it's like I'm like, let's see how many $8 beers I can get down. And then I look at my credit card the next day, I'm like, sweet Jesus. 8 beers at $8 a pop is expensive.
That's like $177.
Well, right, of course. This a trap? Is this a trap kind of game, Kevin? Because this team has so figured out how to lose in such a comically bad fashion. Like, are you afraid the Packers go in without as much intensity as they need?
I don't think that this team. I'm not going to say that they don't have a trap game in them because
Sure.
I think this team is coached well enough where they shouldn't fall into that trap.
And this is on our schedule, but we do have to move along a little bit. I'm sorry, Kevin, but what I want to say is Matt LaFleur is not getting enough credit. I mean, he's 16-3 in his first season and a bit. He hasn't lost a division game, right? He hasn't lost a division game, has he? I mean, Kevin, is it fair to say that he's one of the best coaches in the NFL at this point? It's not a fluke now.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point the sample size has been big enough, and regardless of whether or not you want to say he's the best one of the best coaches in the NFL, that's not really relevant because he's obviously the best choice for the Packers right now. At 13-3 last year and 3-0 this year, with the way that the offense is performing, I don't see how you could look back on that and say, "Oh, that was a bad hire." I think it's proven to be a good hire at this point, and unless something drastic happens, I think it'll continue to be that way.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. The other thing we have to talk about is it's tangentially related to the Packers. Is the Chicago Bears are also somehow miraculously 3-0. They've been handed 2 victories by teams who didn't want to win, and even though they're 3-0. James, they just benched their starting quarterback, whom they traded up for in the draft. In the first round of the actual NFL draft, they traded up to get this guy, and they've already benched him in favor of BDN. It's big dick if you're scoring at home.
They didn't take Patrick Mahomes. They didn't take Deshaun Watson. They didn't take they traded up for Mitch Trubisky, and now he's sitting on the bench behind a guy whose biggest accomplishment is being a genetic jackhammer.
To be biggest accomplishment might be Super Bowl MVP. And Mark Peter, both of them.
Honestly, if you gave me the option. I can't say that I wouldn't choose option B.
Right.
Point of order. Could you have your Super Bowl ring sized for your wiener? Would that be an acceptable?
Where there's a jeweler, there's a way. You can find anybody. You can find people to do a lot of weird ass on the internet. I'm sure you can find that.
I mean,
where would you find the sizing ring for that? Like, do you go to when I need to buy a ring, I go to Walmart and I find out which size I am, and then I go buy, order it online. Do you go to the Walmart jewelry counter and just?
I think you just got to start buying a lot of different paper towel brands and compare the tubes.
All right, we should probably move on. And the reason we should move on, gentlemen, is because someone has returned, a prodigal father, if you will. It's Papa K, and he is back for this season. I'm hoping that he'll be back for every game, but you never know. Here's what he had to say this week.
Hi, this is Papa K with a question for the panel. Do you guys think that the Packers can get a 2 for Aaron Rodgers in the 2021 draft? Thanks. Bye.
Wow.
I believe he may be mocking fans who didn't believe in one Aaron Charles Rodgers.
I'm
I don't think that those fans, because at times I was among them, were being unfair. It looked like he had lost something. Turns out, I just don't think he was enjoying playing the game, which that kind of irks me because, like, I don't think Tom Brady ever enjoys the game, but like, he wins. You know, so Aaron Rodgers could have done that. No, but he did look like there were physical issues, and I think at times it was mechanics issues, not issues with people fixing his car, but issues with his actual throwing mechanics, and those problems made it look like it was age. Now he's still limited in what he could do compared to what he could do 10 years ago, but everything I've seen, James, is this guy. I was wrong. He looks like he's in great. He was asked to do too much.
If this Aaron Rodgers is still here in 3 years, I don't know how you can give him up. Or let him down or make him cry. Or whatever the freaking words are to that song.
Whatever. We know, James.
No, for real though. In 3 years, if you have Jordan Love sitting on the bench and Aaron Rodgers is still out there throwing dimes all over the field whenever he wants, mostly to guys that are plucked from the practice squad and you know the Y, then how do you look at him and say, you know what, thanks for your service, see you later?
Right.
Yes, the contract might not be. He'd have to be signed to a big contract. I don't know, man. I don't want to think about it. I just want to enjoy this ride while we have it.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, we got a bunch of voicemails, so let's get to them. We'll try to get through all of them tonight. First up for our voicemails, we'll go with this one that came, I believe, right after the game. And, well.
Alan Lazard. That is all.
Kevin, agree or disagree, Alan Lazard?
AKA the Lizard King.
Correct.
I agree. Circle gets a square.
James, agree or disagree?
I also agree that Alan Lazard.
That's correct. Alan Lazard is the answer. We're going to go now to Gabe.
Hey, all. Gabe here, calling after the win against the New Orleans Saints. And I have to say, it was close there, but a win is a win. And I have to just say about that defense. Oh, my goodness. I mean, yeah, they redeemed themselves when Zadarius Smith got that fumble, but that was just some piss poor tackling. I mean, 6 missed tackles or 5 or 6 missed tackles on Kamara. I don't know if they were afraid of him, but yeah, they got to work on that. But either way, hey, the win is a win. I'm happy. So, and I promise you guys, next call, I shall bring to you the infamous left blinker. Just, of course, I haven't been going out much, you know. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. That's all I have tonight. Good night. God bless, and go Pack, go.
A good call tonight. I would say, look, I want to say thanks to everybody because they kept their calls at like a minute or less. Could tighten up that end a little bit. I mean, we all could do some squats, tighten up the end of the voicemail. Otherwise, good call. The next one, there was someone who called, and they called and got through almost the whole call and then screwed something up and they had to call back. And I believe they opened their call with "Hey fella," and so I just titled the call "Hey fella."
So drunk me decided to Tyson Hill the call, but that's fine. Packers won. I enjoyed it. It was great. But Jesus, Mike Pettin, figure your out. Holy cow. I did enjoy the fact that Alan Lazard is a phenomenal wide receiver. He knows how to run his routes. So it kind of feels good to see another Packers wide receiver get out there and get after it. And actually catch the ball outside of the maybe one that he dropped. But it's also awesome to see that Big Bob get out there and made some plays, which where the hell did that come from? Did we decide to, like, all of a sudden incorporate a tight end to our offense? Kind of nice. Another option that we have. But overall, hey, we're 3-0. We're going to move forward and keep rocking and rolling. Enjoy the ride, guys. And have a great one. Bye.
You too can call even when you've had a couple beverages. And I love how the drunk mind works. Where you're like, even if you had a couple drops, what do you have? Like one or two.
That was a high quality call. I
It
want
was.
more like that.
I do. And we've got one more call. Now, last week, if you remember, Dakota called, and we couldn't play his voicemail because it dropped out. He had bad cell coverage. So here he is returning this week.
Hey, y'all. This is Dakota. Hey, y'all. This is Dakota.
It ruined my joke.
Yeah, I called last week, but y'all couldn't use it because I'm sure I had bad signal. But last week I mentioned something about, Matt LaFleur being a good coach. He's offensive minded. He can recognize when his defense is not doing well. He can get onto them correctly. It actually works. They believe in them, and they come back in the second half and they do well. So that's what last week's call was about. This week's call is going to be the same thing. Matt LaFleur, y'all, is awesome. I love this man. I saw some of y'all talking about him in the game thread, and I really should have had more to talk about than I have. So I guess I'm highly ill prepared for this call. But how about y'all? What do y'all think about good old Matt LaFleur? All right, y'all. Peace.
Kevin, Matt LaFleur, yes or no?
I'm going to give him a thumbs up. A yes.
James, if Matt LaFleur was on fire, would you pour your last glass of water on him?
I would. I absolutely would.
So, Dakota, I think you have your answers there. Now, just to let you know, I was supposed to play his voicemail for about 5 or 6 seconds and then pause it and pretend that his connection was bad and we couldn't play his voicemail.
You pressed the wrong button.
I did. I tried to play my soundboard, but it was my fat ass fingers. I mean, look at these sausages. Try to press a button with these.
There's no meat
right. I think it's time to get to our games. You ready, Kev?
Yeah, sure.
True or false, true or false, true or false, true or false. It's time to play true or false.
All right. True or false? It is the weekly game of chance and skill and luck or something. We haven't figured that out yet, but I like that. All right. So last week, quick recap because we're time of the essence. All right. So James, you got 4 true or false questions right. Well done. Scott Neer, Kyle Turpinning, both with 4 as well. Excellent job. Chris, you had 3. That's pretty good. Pretty good. That's respectable. I had 2, which is not as respectable. It's okay. When you write the questions and you don't. Yeah, exactly. All right. So quick recap. Last week, Drew Brees completed 80% of his passes, which was, I think we said 67%.
Wow. Think about that.
Yeah, but the average length of his pass was -5 yards.
No.
So I mean,
I'm with you. I'm not saying this is a good thing. I'm saying even like how just that statistic doesn't tell you anything because when we watch the game, it wasn't a good performance. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Right. Everyone who played true or false this week thought the Packers would score at least 29, and they did. So everybody got that one right. The Packers have now scored in all 12 quarters of football this season.
Wow.
And I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it until I was doing the answers for this recap.
Okay.
That question 2 asked if they would score 29, and question 5 asked if they would score 40. They did not score 40, obviously.
They're 2 different questions.
Nobody picked up on it, so whatever.
But we're not very bright.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I basically, I basically pay a monkey to write these questions for me. Okay, question number 1, James. I'm going to start with you because you have you look like you're a little bit.
I'm ready. I'm getting in the zone.
Okay.
I'm getting in the zone.
Right, the zone.
Through 3 weeks, Aaron Rodgers is averaging 3 passing touchdowns per game. Through 3 weeks, the Falcons are averaging 3 passing touchdowns allowed per game. True or false? In week 4 against the Falcons, Aaron Rodgers will throw for at least 3 touchdowns.
True.
Chris, what do you think?
I'm going to say true because, the Falcons aren't very good. The Packers are pretty good. There you go. Analysis.
I agree. The Falcons can't stop the pass.
Let's be careful.
Question number 2. Atlanta is allowing about 460 yards passing yard, no, 460 total yards and 36 points per game so far in 2020. True or false? Against the Falcons, the Packers will either put up a total of 460 yards total offense or score 36 plus points. Chris, what do you think?
True. I'm all on. I'm there, all in, or I'm on board. I couldn't decide. I went with all on.
James, what about you?
I'm all board. I'm true. Absolutely true. They might do both actually.
Yeah, they very well might.
I'm going to say true too. I think the trends are looking that way. Yeah. All right, number 3. In 2020, the Packers are allowing opposing QBs to average about 247 passing yards per game, which is currently about 18th best in the NFL. True or false? Mason Crosby will kick at least 2 field goals in Week 4 against the Falcons. Curveball, right?
That was M. Night Shyamalan there, little end. Except for me,
what do you think, Chris?
Who's at least 2 field goals? It's just a guess, but true? I don't know. True.
James, what do you think?
I think true.
I'm going to say false. I think I'm saying that not because I think that's actually legit, but I'm 114 touchdowns, all point afters.
Nice.
He's going to have 42 points on point afters.
I like it.
Question number 4. The Falcons are turning the ball over once per game through 3 weeks with 2 interceptions and 1 fumble. True or false? In Week 4, the Packers will force at least 1 turnover, and that does not include a turnover on downs. James, what do you think?
I'll say true. I think I believe in them. I think they can do it.
I hate to just not to create any debate, but I agree. True.
All right. Yeah. I'm going to say true as well because we're a Packers podcast. Question number 5, Chris. Through 3 games in 2020, the Packers have scored in every quarter. True or false? In Week 4 against the Falcons, the Packers will score points in all quarters, including overtime.
This is a bad bet. This is a terrible bet, but I'm going to say true.
James, terrible. What about you?
I think I'm going to say false. I think this is the week that they go 1 quarter. I don't know why. I feel like this might be the week.
Guys, the way that their offense is, they're just so smooth. If they get the ball in a quarter, I think they're going to score. I'm going to go true. As long as they get the ball, they're going to score. We're going to get the ball, and we're going to.
That didn't turn out well.
It didn't turn out well.
It never does. Have you guys ever listened to this podcast?
No, thankfully. Being a host of it shows you don't really have to listen to it.
Yeah, we get the gist. All right, that's it for true or false.
All right, let's get to our final game of the. Oh wait, first I need my closing music. It's not true.
True or false is now over.
Our final game of the night, so we can get out of here. It's Spread 'em, the game where we pick the Packers game against the spread. And we introduce it with a 19-second long intro.
All right, hands on the hood and spread them.
Kevin, what's the line this week?
It's 7.5. Is that what it is?
Are you telling or guessing?
Packers, guys, I do about an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of prep every Tuesday before the show. And none of it is spread them ever. It never will be.
The Packers are 7.5 point favorites going into this game against the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to take over hosting this segment just because. Kevin, do they cover or not?
They do. I think they do cover. I think they do.
James, what do you think?
You know how I roll. I'm gonna continue on with the tradition, and I'm gonna take the Falcons.
I'm gonna take the Packers. I think they do cover. I think that it's a laugher. I think it's like one of those where someone might get fired or benched the next day. With that, the Packers will lose 21-17. It's time to get out of here, but we have. I don't know if we even put it in the. We didn't put it in the show outline, gentlemen. But you know what we have to do.
It's time to sound off.
It is time for the sound off at the end of the show where we talk about whatever we want. And tonight, Kevin, do you have a sound off ready?
Yeah, sure. I can go real quick.
All right, go.
It's even football related. Yeah. So I think the graphic that they showed on against the Saints, where they showed the amount of passing touchdowns that Aaron Rodgers has had to first-round picks, is absolutely mind-boggling. Peyton Manning had almost 300 touchdown passes to first-round draft picks. Aaron Rodgers has had 2 to Mercedes Lewis. That's absolutely crazy to me. And when you talk about quarterbacks who make players around them better, Peyton Manning was a very good quarterback, but he never made players better the way that Aaron Rodgers has made some of these guys that he's played with better.
That's a hell of a sound off.
I wonder if you looked at if you flipped it and you took the amount of players that undrafted free agents or like 7th rounders that Aaron Rodgers has thrown touchdown passes to compared to Peyton Manning. I bet you that'd be an interesting number too.
Be very interesting, yeah.
Jim, that'd be a more interesting number 2 than Najee Davenport in the co-ed's closet.
I like it.
You like how I use the term co-ed? I've read that in the Playboy magazine once.
From 1973, no doubt. James, for the third time, and I will not have fourth.
There's words in those. This past Friday night, my house, we live right next door to the local high school. And this past Friday night, I didn't even know this was happening, but they played a varsity football game there.
Oh boy.
And I normally through, every year since we bought this house, if we don't go to the game, we can hear it because our windows are open. It's fall. It's nice. And it's fun. It's always nice and nostalgic. And this time I began that way. I was like, oh, awesome. And then my mind it flipped, and I hate that. Like, I hate being in that place where it's like taking this really cool, thing. And just now all of a sudden it's like tainted.
It feels uncomfortable.
Yeah, it did. So can we please just all agree to do whatever the hell we need to do to get past this crap so we can get back to normal, so people don't have to feel like garbage when they, are happy to hear people having fun outside. Let's
get past the point where you feel anxiety when you see people hug on a TV show.
Right.
Are you getting to the point yet where it feels uncomfortable?
Right. Can we, as a society, can we just decide at some point, and let's wear the stupid fabric for a little while and get this over with, please?
Yeah. Yep. I'm not going to add anything to that because that was fantastic. So, James, what's the word that people should tweet at us?
I'm going to follow up that bit of eloquence with the word. We're going to go with perineum.
Ooh, perineum. All right. Take
the perineum all-star.
Take the word I would have picked, but it's the word you picked. Let's get out of here tonight. Thanks for joining us. If you want to join us, we try to do this every Tuesday. If someone would subscribe to our YouTube page, you're going to get us to a milestone. It's not a very big milestone, but it's a milestone. Subscribe. Join us in the live chat on Tuesdays. It's a lot of fun. Sure. Let's get out of here.
We're playing Rocket League.
Oh, if you're a listener who plays Rocket League, join our Facebook group. We'll play with you.
Warzone, Rocket League. Either or. Both. Bring it on.
The preceding podcast was a production of Productions Institute, LLC. Copyright 2019. All rights reserved. Don't steal our crap.